you are planning a trip to Kyoto, I think May is the best time overall. My name is Yuki. I'm a fabric artist and my friends come to Kyoto to see me. They adjust their schedules to visit Kyoto, considering work commitments or avoiding family events. Or perhaps some decide when to visit based on their longing to see the cherry blossom in spring or the autumn leaves. I tell them to carefully consider the timing of their trip. The months you choose to visit Kyoto within the year can significantly impact your experience, for better or worse. This video offers tips to help you wisely consider the best months to visit, rather than relying on your instincts alone. I also share my recommended months, so please watch until the end. First, let's talk about the general seasonal feel throughout the year. Japan, including Kyoto, has 4 distinct seasons, each with its own characteristics. Additionally, June brings the rainy season. This is a graph showing the annual average temperature. It only shows the average temperature, but it can get up to 100 degrees in summer, and winters can drop to 30 degrees. Now, let's compare this to the average temperatures in New York and LA. People from New York might be able to survive Kyoto's winter cold, but the summer heat might feel crazy. And if you are from LA, compared to Kyoto, LA has less temperature variation, so the extreme heat and cold might feel tough. From the end of rainy season in early July until around the end of September, extremely hot days continue, and August in particular makes spending time outdoors very uncomfortable. Midwinter lasts from late December to February, with occasional snowfall. Really heavy snowfall that completely whitens the road occurs about once every 3 or 4 years. Next, I'll talk about important events to keep in mind. I want to talk about Japanese holidays. There are 3 times a year when Japanese people take time off. Companies close and many people travel for vacations or to visit family. These periods can affect your travel plans, so please remember them. First is the year-end and New Year holidays. Work ends like on the last Friday of December, and many companies close until the first Monday of January. A lot of people take like a week off. We celebrate the start of the new year by eating special foods together with family, just like a lot of people celebrate Christmas in the US. Second is Golden Week, from late April to early May. This period includes 6 national holidays, and by combining them with weekends, many Japanese people take time off from work during this period for about a week. The third one is the mid-August holiday period, known as Obon, originally a traditional Japanese event to honor ancestral spirits. Many people in Japan use this period as their summer vacation to return home or travel. Oh, by the way, I'm generally talking about office workers in companies, so I'm not saying shops and museums are all closed for a long time. The times when many facilities close are New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and the days around them. With more people traveling domestically by bullet train or car, if you are considering a trip without knowing these holidays, it could negatively impact your plans, so please remember these holidays. Next, I'll talk about festivals. In July, we have Gion Festival, one of Japan's 3 major festivals with over 1,000 years of history. In May, we have Aoi Festival, and in October, Jidai Festival, where you can see magnificent parades of people and horses dressed in period costumes. On the night of August 16th, the Gozan Okuribi bonfires make Kyoto's night special. Characters and designs drawn on 5 mountains are illuminated by fire, serving as guiding lights for ancestors who returned from the afterlife during the Obon holiday to make their way back. If these happen during your trip, they might be worth seeing, so be sure to look them up. Also, while these are major events, many other temples and shrines hold annual festivals or events too. Check what's happening during your travel dates. So far, I've talked about the seasons, Japanese holidays, and annual events. Now, I'll give you some tips to help you decide when to visit Kyoto. First, let's skip the subjective opinions and look at which months are popular as established facts. Tourist season peaks in spring and fall. In spring, many people come to Kyoto from both Japan and abroad to see the cherry blossoms. In autumn, they come to see the autumn leaves. After the cold winter lasting until February, temperatures start warming up in March. People head outdoors to see the beautiful cherry blossoms. Cherry trees are planted everywhere in Kyoto, from within temples and shrines to all over the city streets. When spring arrives, the beautiful pale pink color adorns the entire city. As a side note, while Japan has about 600 varieties of cherry blossoms, 70 to 90% of them are the Somei Yoshino variety. Somei Yoshino was developed in the 19th century and spread through Japan via grafting. Consequently, they are all clones sharing the same generic information, blooming at nearly the same time under identical conditions. This means that if you come to Kyoto to see the cherry blossoms, the window for viewing time is limited. The period when you can enjoy the blossoms at full bloom or near full bloom lasts only about 1 week or 10 days, and tourists flock to coincide with this timing. This peak period shifts slightly each year, but generally falls between late March and early April. Hotel reservations fill up quickly targeting this period, so if you plan a Kyoto trip then, booking early is essential. Also, hotel rates can rise up to 2 to 3 times their off-season prices, so be prepared. The same applies to the autumn foliage season. The autumn foliage season offers a slightly longer viewing period. In the mountainous areas of northern Kyoto City, you can enjoy the colors from early November, whilst in the city center, the peak lasts from late November to mid-December. Both cherry blossoms and autumn leaves are breathtakingly beautiful. However, this beauty means Kyoto becomes crowded, accommodations are hard to find and expensive, restaurants are packed, and getting around becomes a hassle. Next, let's look at the less popular months, February and June through September. First, I'll explain these 4 consecutive months, then explain February later. Japan has a rainy season, which falls from June to mid-July. While the amount of rain and the length of the season vary from year to year, rainy days become more frequent. You might think the rainy season isn't ideal for sightseeing, but it still feels better than the peak summer heat starting in July. You can also enjoy the beautiful hydrangeas blooming in various places under the rain. The rainy season ends from early to mid-July. After this, the real summer begins. Temperatures rise and humidity is high, making outdoor activities uncomfortable. Looking only at the temperature, you might think you could survive this, but don't underestimate Kyoto's humidity. There are mosquitoes, which makes it even more uncomfortable. Personally, I don't recommend summer tourism. However, you can experience special events like the Gion Festival, one of Japan's 3 major festivals held in July, or the Gozan Okuribi bonfire ceremony on August 16th. Additionally, with fewer tourists overall, you can comfortably get around town by taxi, which can be difficult during crowded months. Since the days are longer, you might use the morning hours to visit famous tourist spots and spend the daytime enjoying indoor experiences such as cultural activities or visiting museums. Next, let's talk about February. Temperatures can drop to 30 degrees on some days. It's generally very cold. But unlike December or January, you can start to feel the hint of spring. Before the cherry blossoms bloom at the end of March, plum blossoms begin to bloom in February. They are just as beautiful as cherry blossoms. While peak summer and winter are physically tough environments, they have relatively fewer tourists and hotels are easier to book. Hotel rates are also cheaper, so you can use the saving for extra shopping. By carefully planning your daily itinerary and scheduling indoor activities on days when outdoor exploration is difficult, you can effectively take advantage of these off-peak periods. Now I'll speak purely from my own perspective. I was born in Kyoto and have lived here for many years, experiencing every season multiple times. Consider my opinion as a reference. If you can choose your travel time, don't come here in summer. It's too hot. Even I want to escape Kyoto. If I was super rich and could effortlessly stay at a peak season hotel where the concierge handled all my restaurant reservations and taxi arrangements, I would come to see the spring cherry blossoms or autumn foliage despite the crowds because they are just so beautiful. That said, my top recommendation is May though. May is often overlooked but a truly wonderful season. People might be disappointed that the cherry blossoms are gone, but the fresh greenery is stunning. You can enjoy the young leaves of the trees shining through the warm sunlight. It's neither hot nor cold in May. A t-shirt and a jacket will handle the temperature difference between day and night. You'll have more room in your suitcase. And there are no mosquitoes. You might wonder why I make such a big deal about mosquitoes, but they are just so annoying. And best of all, it's not peak tourist season, so you can avoid the crowds. Of course, Kyoto is crowded year-round these days, but you won't have to endure the ridiculous crowds of peak season. I love traveling myself, but when there are too many people at a destination, no matter how wonderful the place is, I just want to go home. If you come to Kyoto in May, please come after Golden Week. Japanese holiday period is over. Well, that was my opinion. If you have been to Kyoto before, please share your thoughts in the comments section, even if they differ from mine, as they might be helpful hints for other viewers. Also, check out this helpful video for booking hotels. And don't forget to subscribe. You might have to say, where was that channel? Just like this video, the videos with green thumbnails are meant for people who are debating whether to visit Kyoto or have just started considering a trip there. Be sure to check out the other green ones too. This channel covers Kyoto topics accessible to as many people as possible, but for more detailed information about textiles and crafts, or my company and artistic activities, please check out my website, Yuki's Kyoto, linked in the video description. And if you'd like, come visit me in Kyoto!